I have a 1977 World Series Dodgers pennant that I bought at an auction.
Okay, that looks like Frank Sinatra.
Oh, Blue Eyes, huh? He probably was a Dodgers fan. I knew I didn't like him.
I have the one and only Aylor Cup.
The Aylor Cup. It's one big cup.
Named after a fellow by the name of Lillard Aylor.
Okay.
This is a World War I trophy for horsemanship.
The episode wastes no time when a guy walks in with an 1849 Colt pocket revolver, hyping it like it's a Gold Rush MVP. Rick's interest evaporates the second he notices it's been scrubbed clean. Basically the antique version of committing a felony. He grimaces, throws out $200, settles at $300, and instantly looks like a man who knows he may regret this.
Sell this 1849 Colt.
Okay. This thing's loaded. So what's the oldest gun you got?
That's it right there.
Okay. Cool thing about this gun is this is right when they came out with the revolver. It was
Rick breaks down why one side of the gun looks like it lost a bar fight. It was carried by a left-handed cowboy. Cool detail, terrible condition. Collectors want age, not sparkle. And Rick's already bracing himself for bad news as he admits this purchase might sting.
considering.
Yeah, 1849 long.
Pretty cool. I mean, this was a cowboy who liked to shoot a lot, you can tell. Most likely left-handed, too. Because if he kept it in a holster, this is the side that doesn't have much damage. This is the side that's dinged all to hell.
Then the show veers straight into financial danger when a seller rolls in with a 1984 Chris Craft boat, proudly demanding $25,000. Rick's allergic to boats, but Corey ignores every warning sign and buys it for $16,500 without even starting the engine. Rick finds out and nearly flatlines.
So what can you tell me about it, man?
It's 27 feet. It's got twin 350s, two 140 blowers.
So what are you trying to do with it, man? Sell it or pawn it?
No, I want to sell it. It needs a little bit more work than I can afford to put back into it.
What kind of work, man?
Family meltdown activated. The old man reminds everyone of the sacred rule, never buy boats, while Rick piles on about the missing test run. Corey insists it'll be worth $30,000 fixed, but Rick makes it clear one dumb gamble could torpedo the whole shop.
There's no money to be made. What were you doing out there with that boat?
No, I bought it.
What do you mean you bought it?
I bought it. No.
What do you mean no?
No, I didn't test drive.
Rick heads to gun expert Johnny with the Colt, hoping for a miracle. Johnny delivers the opposite. The cleaning wrecked the value, parts are missing, the cylinder's busted, and it won't fire. He jokes about burying it to regrow rust, and Rick realizes this bet already went sideways.
Just got this.
Another fine quality collectible item from
Yes.
the pawn shop. From what I can see, it's been beat up pretty bad. Too bad, it's a nice first model, and there was an etching.
Back at the shop, Corey's on thin ice. The old man makes it crystal clear. If the boat loses money, Corey's done. Rick admits proving yourself in a family business is brutal, especially when your dad has zero patience for excuses.
Wait a second, let me talk for a change. If we sell the boat and we make money on it, I'll back you 100% with your father. If we lose money on it, it's probably gonna be a storm.
Next up, a 1954 Gretsch Rancher guitar with Hollywood credentials, played by Robert Duvall in Tender Mercies. Only 10 exist. The seller wants $10,000 and Rick wants it badly, but not enough to overpay. He offers $4,000, suggests an auction, and the deal dies right there.
Gretsch Rancher,
How many they made?
around 10 total production that year.
Okay.
What's special about it is that you can see the marks there. It's that guitar, and then add the fact that Robert Duvall used it for that movie, and it's just one of a kind. And he offered to sell it to me, and I, of course, bought it.
Art steps into the ring with 3 signed Salvador Dali Divine comedy prints. The seller aims high at $15,000 each. Rick shrugs at late-era Dali and counters way lower. Neither budges, and the prints walk out untouched, along with Rick's subtle art world shade.
So these are woodcut prints, the Divine Comedy series, which has over 47 prints. This is very interesting, very fascinating, because this is the series that when he would wake up from a dream, he would just draw it. And then he would make the wood engraving and then print them out.
And they're all artist proofs.
The boat drama continues as Rick brings the Chris Craft to expert Bill. Good news, it could hit $30,000 after repairs. Bad news, boats love surprises, but this one only needs about $4,000 in work, and Rick finally exhales.
You here?
Well, we went through the hydraulics for the trim system and replaced the motor. The main engine fuse was blown. That's why the motor wouldn't start.
Okay.
We tuned them both up.
This is probably the most stressed I've been since I started working here. I mean,
Final verdict, after repairs, the boat runs clean and appraises north of $30,000. Corey's glowing, desperate for approval, while the old man sticks to his lifelong warning about boats being money pits. For now, though, the gamble paid off, and Pawn Stars lives to roll the dice another day.
Corey has really got to talk to me or the old man before he makes these kind of decisions again.
You ready to go for a ride?
Definitely.
Back in the day when this boat came out, it was cutting edge. These are the boats you used to see on Miami Vice.
Who could not like this?
We did great, Big Hoss!
The episode detonates immediately with Chumlee strutting in like he lost a bet at a sneaker convention, triggering Rick's inner fashion cop. Chum swears his shoes are foot sweatpants. Corey clowns Rick's kicks, the old man piles on, and suddenly this pawn shop feels less like a business and more like a roast marathon with no survivors.
Well, Chumlee, I see you dressed in style this morning. You're wearing shoes for an idiot.
These shoes are comfortable. They're like sweatpants on your feet.
They're horrible. And yours ain't no better, Rick.
You hate everything.
A hopeful seller walks in clutching what he claims is a WWIAOR cup tied to a fallen cavalry soldier, clearly expecting a museum-level reaction. Rick shuts that down fast, explaining the grim reality of machine guns versus horses before revealing it's just a generic 1930s silver trophy worth scrap, around $400, while the seller dreamed of $2,500.
What is this, some kind of spittoon?
No, sir. Lillard Aylor was the first person killed out of the 15th Regiment, and so obviously I think this thing's valuable. I decided that maybe I ought to just go see what I can get for this.
The seller pushes back, emotionally attached to the story more than the metal, but Rick isn't budging an inch. He exits defeated, looking like someone who just found out his family heirloom came from a mall kiosk.
Got like $400 in scrap silver there.
That's it? You can't do better than that.
I would pay you scrap silver, that is it.
You don't see any historical value.
None whatsoever. There is no military collectability there at all.
Cut to the old man asleep at his desk, proving once again that naps are part of his job description. Suggestions for hobbies spiral into threats, insults, and Pops declaring his only pastime is dominating the three men standing in front of him, verbally and otherwise.
Hey, y'all hold it down. I'm trying to rest.
Why do you come to work and then take a nap in front of your computer?
That's part of my job, son.
We're trying to run a pawn shop, not a retirement home.
Things pivot when a seller brings in Beatles memorabilia, including a base signed by Paul McCartney and other signatures on photos and tickets. He wants $25,000, admits he bought it at the Playboy Mansion, refuses to elaborate, and Rick immediately smells either rock history gold or legendary nonsense.
What do we have here?
What we got here is a Sunburst guitar and Ringo's signature, George Harrison's signature, John Lennon's signature, and an unused concert ticket from August 18, 1966.
Guitar expert Jesse takes one look and quietly dismantles the fantasy, pointing out the bass is a right-handed replica, something McCartney never played. Sure, Paul signed it, but that revelation alone sends the value crashing and the seller's confidence right along with it.
Sir Paul, awesome. So what are your concerns with this one?
I was just wondering if there's any way to tell if it was actually played by Paul. I mean, she got appraised for $25,000. There's got to be a reason why.
Yeah. This is the style he played.
Autograph expert Steve finishes the job, confirming none of the signatures are authentic and labeling the whole set manufactured memorabilia. The seller storms out furious, convinced he lost $12,000, while the shop dodges what would have been an all-time bad buy.
Paul McCartney signed guitar is a pretty rare thing, so.
Yeah, doesn't usually sign guitars in person. Won't sign pieces of paper. Usually keeps it to albums, CDs, or DVDs.
Whoa, so then a guitar would be...
Guys, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull up known examples of their autographs that are genuine.
Back to Pops, who is now being aggressively encouraged to adopt hobbies like bird feeding and puzzles, neither of which survives his patience. Bingo nearly joins the casualty list, until Pops wins and immediately resumes insulting Corey, restoring balance to the universe.
Come on, boss, have a seat over here.
What'd you call me out here for, Chumlee?
I want to show you something. Lately, it seems like all the old man does at work is sleep. So we decided that he needs a hobby to keep his brain sharp, and I've got a hobby for him that all old people love.
Elsewhere, Corey helps his friend Davey hunt for art, skipping sports memorabilia in favor of quirky local paintings featuring grapes and DUI jokes. They haggle from $2,500 to $1,500, sealing the deal under strict instructions that Rick must never know.
I want to put some decor in it that'd be pretty cool.
Anything particular? I mean, if cool in my opinion.
It's gone past that point now. I'm family whether they like it or not.
You're a Muhammad Ali fan? Cool, man. This is actually his game-worn uniform, Willie Mays.
Yeah, but I'm not building a sports bar, you know what I mean?
Rick forces Pops back to the puzzle, which immediately turns hostile. Pops admits he solved the problem by throwing away 5 pieces, proving rage quitting transcends generations.
I'm working.
What are you working at?
Just regular work stuff, boss. It's not a big deal.
Here you go. It's a puzzle, Dad. It keeps your mind sharp. It gives you something to do.
Well, whatever.
550 pieces. Just try it out.
The episode closes with Pops reaffirming he doesn't need hobbies because tormenting his family already fills his schedule.
We want to find the old man a hobby, but surprise, surprise, he didn't like anything we suggested.
Rick opens the episode by casually dropping that he'll be leaving the shop for a few months, which immediately triggers Chumlee's inner stand-up comic. Between jokes about hair plugs and doctor visits, Rick finally reveals he's giving a college lecture on business. Cue non-stop laughter and Corey's brutal reminder that working at the pawn shop isn't exactly an MBA.
All right, guys, I have to leave here in a few months.
You got a doctor's appointment? You got a consultation for hair plugs, don't you?
Oh my God, Rick, does it come down to this?
I am not getting hair plugs. There's a local college I am giving a lecture at.
About what?
A young guy walks in with a copy of A Connecticut Yankee in King Arthur's Court, admitting he's never cracked it open and only knows it came from his dad. Rick lights up with Mark Twain trivia, while the seller confidently asks $1,500, clearly hoping this dusty book is his golden ticket.
I have a first edition Mark Twain that I'd like you to look at.
Okay, A Yankee in King Arthur's Court. So have you ever read it?
No, I haven't read it.
All right, have you ever seen any of the movies?
No, never seen any of the movies.
Rick digs into the book and explains how tricky copyright dates can be, then calls in his trusted book expert, Rebecca. She quickly shuts down Rick's commentary, identifies the book as a mixed state first edition, and values it around $1,200 to $1,300, just enough to deflate the seller's optimism.
Connecticut Yankee in King Arthur's Court. Some people call me a bookworm, but I don't know nearly as much about books as Rebecca does. So I'm calling her down to help me out.
Could you maybe not make that sound when I approach?
She's pregnant.
When the seller asks Rick for a fair price, Rick doesn't hesitate and drops a $700 offer like a brick. After a brief attempt to negotiate, the seller caves, and Rick walks away looking like a man who just outsmarted literature itself.
So, what do you want for it?
Well, I started at 15. She says it's worth 13. I trust you. If you're interested in it, just give me a fair price.
I'd give you $700 for it. Yeah, no, I can't. $700.
Not even 800.
No.
Back at the counter, Lily studies while Chum proudly explains his lifelong commitment to mediocre grades. Corey reminisces about his chaotic youth. Chum roasts Rick as a social outcast, and Lily's polite defense only makes the teasing worse.
Just some school stuff, you know, checking to see if my grades are looking okay.
Getting all A's, right?
Yeah.
Must be nice. Yeah, when I was in school, the best grade I would ever let myself get is a C, because if I got A's, people would always expect it, so. I was just worried about being the most truant.
Rick swaps the pawn shop for a lecture hall, sporting a painfully tight turtleneck and preaching non-stop hustle to college students. He talks failure, success, and reading books every night, enjoying the rare moment where people actually choose to listen to him.
A lecture on how to run a small business. So, I got my fancy clothes on and come on down and gonna give it a shot. I'm Rick Harrison. I own the world-famous gold and silver pawn shop. I like to do public speaking. A lot of people...
Chumlee then takes center stage when a psychiatrist brings in antique bone drills used for old-school skull surgery. Despite the nightmare fuel history, Chum negotiates the price down to $1,250, proving that creepy medical tools are apparently his comfort zone.
Sure. This is an antique bone drill set. Dates about 1890s.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but you're a doctor.
That's right.
So what kind of doctor are you?
Well, I'm a psychiatrist.
You're a psychiatrist and you collect stuff that drills holes in people's heads.
The episode wraps with a seller pitching a Tinkerbell animation cell supposedly gifted by Walt Disney himself, backed by nothing but handwritten notes and vibes. Chum lowballs him into oblivion, tells him to take the alleged $10,000 elsewhere, and Rick later returns only to get roasted, once again, for that unforgivable turtleneck.
What do we have here? We have a 1953 original Peter Pan, Tinkerbell presentation piece.
This is pretty cool, man. Are you a Peter Pan fan?
Big time.
So what's your favorite part? You look like a Captain Hook fan to me.
I like the Lost Boys and the Indian scene.
Pure madness right out of the gate. A guy walks in holding what looks like a key, until it turns out to also be a gun. Even Rick doesn't know what he's looking at, cracking jokes while the confusion hits full throttle. This episode wastes zero time getting unhinged.
How can I help you?
I just trying to sell this thing. It's a key, gun.
A key and a gun. If you have a gun on your...
Next up, a seller brings serious racing prestige, a 1997 Jeff Gordon trophy from the American Sports Writers Association, supposedly snagged at a charity auction in the late 90s. Rick immediately clocks the Daytona 500 connection but shifts gears fast, pressing for proof before getting too excited.
What do we got here?
What we have here is a personal Jeff Gordon trophy that was presented to him in 1997 by the American Sports Writers Association.
Oh, okay. Thought it was a hood ornament.
The top 5 drivers in NASCAR, so it's a very valuable piece.
So how'd you get this thing?
Well, I'm a huge NASCAR fan, and I got...
The seller insists this trophy isn't some shelf filler. Only elite drivers ever got one, and Gordon's name still carries weight. Rick stays cautious, pointing out NASCAR collectibles flood the market, and rarity only matters if buyers actually care.
This was actually given to Jeff Gordon and donated by him. Jeff Gordon's kind of a special driver who's actually, at this point in time, is 4th all-time in NASCAR win.
Negotiations hit the table fast when the seller asks for $1,000, the same price he paid. Rick counters low, tension creeps in, and after some back-and-forth reality checks, they land at $500. Relief written all over the seller's face.
The best possible deal, so when he resells it, he gets the most money he can get.
Did you want to pawn it? You want to sell it?
I'd like to sell it. It's just time to cut my collection down.
How much you want for it?
I'd really like to get $1,000 for it today.
A tonal shift rolls in with tiny hand-painted portraits of Napoleon and Josephine, immediately triggering jokes from Corey and Chumlee. The seller claims deep French family roots, and when the old man leans forward, you know this might actually be legit.
Hey, what do you got here?
Well, I have an antique portrait of Napoleon and an antique portrait of Joseph.
Hey, old man.
Why?
Some guy found high school photos of you and Grandma.
Yeah, right.
Then the mystery item returns, the infamous key gun. The seller says he snagged it for $40 at a flea market, and Rick realizes it's an ancient matchlock mechanism. Historic, bizarre, and honestly kind of awesome.
Well, it's definitely a gun. It's a real primitive gun, but it's a gun. It's an old matchlock gun.
Oh boy.
And then they came up with this big innovation right here that would hold the fuse.
The seller swings big, asking $1,100, but Rick slams the brakes with a $200 offer. After some tense bargaining and zero budging, the seller caves, turning a flea market gamble into easy profit.
What gets me is I can't understand why it's on a key. I just can't figure out if they took a key and made a gun out of it, or they took a gun and made a key out of it. Yeah, you did it.
Well, how old do you think it is?
I think it's 1600s or earlier.
Rick calls in arms expert Sean, who confirms the key gun is handmade and likely dates back to the 1600s. Even better, it might have been a jailer's key that doubled as protection, basically catnip for multiple collector markets.
Hey Sean, what's up?
Another day in the trenches.
The other day I bought this antique key gun thing for $200. It was a complete shot in the dark.
I'm an expert in antique arms and armor, primarily from the 16th century through the 18th century. How'd you get it?
Sean estimates it could pull $1,200 to $1,500 at auction, and suddenly Rick's grin says everything. Sometimes the real win isn't the object, it's knowing you bought it right.
I really don't understand it, why anyone would even make the thing.
This could have belonged to, a jailer in the 17th century. If you were to put just a bunch of buckshot in here, it would ruin your day.
Rick flips the script and asks Sean what he'd pay. After some friendly back and forth, they shake hands at $450, locking in clean profit and a story that sells itself.
I figured you were going to say that.
Sean is always down here at the shop helping me out, authenticating and pricing items, and every once in a while, I even sell him something. So what would you give me for it?
Well,
Back to the portraits. Corey's expert friend Greg dates them to the 1850s during a Napoleon nostalgia boom. The kicker? The iconic Napoleon image might actually be the artist painting his own face. History gets weird sometimes.
And the old man thinks they're old. The only problem is we don't know how. So I called up my friend Greg, who's an expert in stuff like this, to come down and take a look.
My name is Greg. I'm an expert in French Revolutionary Napoleonic history. And whenever the guys have an item in French history from that period, they give me a call.
The seller asks $600. Corey counters with math instead of vibes, and they meet at $425. Movers get paid, the shop gets classy art, and everyone walks away satisfied.
All right, Greg, thanks for coming in.
My pleasure. Good to see you again.
We appreciate it.
These things are kind of cool. And based on their age, I mean, they're in great condition. I think they'd be a cool thing to have in a shop. The only question is, can we get them at a good price? What are you looking to get out of them?
How about,
A hopeful seller brings in what she thinks is a carved ivory tusk from Taipei. Rick quickly spots the truth, bone panels over wood, and the disappointment hits hard as the value evaporates.
An ivory tusk.
Okay.
I'm here today at the pawn shop with my ivory tusk that is beautifully hand carved. I would hope that I could get somewhere between 7 to 10 days.
Just when you think it can't get stranger, in walks a life-sized Red Power Ranger statue pulled from a dumpster. The seller even added a phone charger, which somehow makes it worse and better at the same time.
I found it next to a dumpster. I was driving home one night. I thought it was a person, and after checking it out for a while, I could tell that it wasn't, so I went and looked at it, and it turned out to be this Power Ranger.
What can you tell me about this thing, man?
Well, he's a life-size Power Ranger. He's about 5'8". I think he's made out of fiberglass.
Corey shuts it down instantly. No market, no deal, no Ranger staying behind. The seller argues you never know you need one until you see it, but this hero exits empty-handed.
So what kind of condition did you find this thing in?
I was pretty beat up, and so I repainted the entire thing red and touched up the gold on the face and the black and the smile, and the coolest part is I put a phone charger in.
Why'd you put a cell phone in it?
A guy walks in clutching a 1977 Dodgers World Series pennant and casually drops the bomb that Frank Sinatra supposedly signed it. Rick immediately goes full detective mode. Chumlee starts tossing baseball jokes, and Corey reminds everyone Sinatra wasn't exactly hanging around signing merch. The seller is beaming like he won the lottery already. Rat Pack meets Dodger Blue. This is already wild.
I have a 1977 World Series Dodgers pen that I bought at an auction, and I noticed this signature on it.
Okay, that looks like Frank Sinatra. Oh, blue eyes, huh?
The seller doubles down, saying Sinatra was actually at the 77 games, so the autograph window wasn't impossible. Corey points out Sinatra famously avoided signing things, and Rick's face says, "I don't buy it yet." A crooner autograph on a baseball pennant feels strange, but not totally crazy. The tension? Uncomfortable in the best way.
Why would Frank Sinatra sign the pennant? Any idea?
The little research that I did shows that Sinatra attended all 3 games in October 1977. Someone probably went and got a pennant and asked him to sign it.
Money enters the chat when the seller asks for $750, banking hard on Sinatra's name. Rick admits signatures aren't his lane and refuses to gamble blind. He calls in an autograph expert, and suddenly this thing has real stakes.
I've got some concerns here. I'm just kind of trying to wrap my head around Frank Sinatra on a Dodgers pennant. You know, it's kind of two real things that don't really go together. You know, if you had the actual team signing it.
Hard cut to outside, where a DeLorean rolls in looking like it escaped Hill Valley. Time circuits, glowing panels, the full sci-fi fantasy. Rick and Chumlee are instantly sold. The owner admits this build lived in his head for 10 years. Nostalgia just punched everyone in the face.
Because generally, I get to take them for a spin.
Rick breaks down the real DeLorean truth. Stylish, but famously underpowered. The seller doesn't care. This is about vibes, not speed. He points out airplane parts, handmade aluminum, and a Mr. Fusion that's literally a coffee grinder. Geek energy is off the charts.
Is this the actual one from the movie?
No, this is a replica that I built. I'm just a huge fan, and it's the ultimate movie car.
What possessed you to build this?
When I was a kid, I saw that car
fly away at the end of the movie. And
Test drive time, and the seller nervously admits nobody's ever actually driven it. Chumlee jokes about altering Rick's existence, because of course he does. Lights flash, switches click, and the car coughs to life. Pure movie magic wrapped around very 80s mechanics.
Back to the day Rick was conceived and stop it from happening.
So what's all this back here?
let me show you. A lot of these parts are military aircraft parts, custom-made aluminum.
Negotiations kick off with the seller citing six-figure builds online. Rick slams the brakes, replica, rough mechanics, tiny buyer pool, and opens at $10,000. The seller fires back with the "how many time machines do you see?" argument. The stare down gets intense fast.
I wouldn't imagine anybody was gonna drive it anyway. It was mostly about the props.
So how much you want for this thing?
I've seen cars of this caliber sell for upwards of $100,000.
Whoa.
Okay, what do you want for it though?
Back inside, autograph expert Steven arrives and immediately connects Sinatra to the Dodgers. Sinatra was close with Tommy Lasorda and even sang the national anthem on opening day in '77. Suddenly, this pennant feels way less random. Investigation mode fully activated.
Frank Sinatra was a huge baseball fan, and he was a huge Dodger fan. Matter of fact, him and Tommy Lasorda were as close as could be. So on April 7th, 1977, which is the same year as that pennant, he came out opening day, sang the national anthem for him, and they bonded ever since then.
Steven compares the signature to verified examples, noting surface differences, explain the small variations. Slant, pressure, and flow all line up. He reminds everyone Sinatra sometimes avoided fans. So, authentication isn't black and white.
It's actual ink on the item, and he actually signed it as opposed to being printed. Next, I want to take a look at my exemplars and compare it to the signature. Entire career. Now, what I pulled up here was a baseball he signed a few years later.
Verdict drops. The signature is authentic, grading around a 7 or 8. Estimated value lands near $600. The seller's excitement dips just a little. Real, but not jackpot.
Okay, when I take a look here, first of all, the Fs are a little different. Maybe on the item being signed. You have a base, you have a pennant that's flat, he's probably signing this on.
Next up, an older gentleman rolls in with a self-winding stock ticker machine. Rick lights up, explaining this was premium market info before TV existed. The seller swings high, asking up to $14,000. Rick's expression says, reality is coming fast.
This is a self-winding stock market ticker tape machine.
Okay, this was basically the first pay TV.
What do you mean first pay TV?
This was mass media into your house, but you had to pay for the service.
Rick dates it to the early 1900s and points out the condition issues. He offers $2,500. The seller counters at $3,500. They inch closer, knowing old tech like this pulls serious eyeballs.
The way these wheels are, it's all letters and numbers. I mean, literally a story would start coming out. Edison invented the first really reliable one, and that was Edison's first really big invention. The reason why they called it self-winding is because
Capitalism. If you can imagine how we would be without capitalism.
Rick rounds it to $3,000 and they shake. The seller quietly celebrates. He paid $30 decades ago. Rick scores another historic showstopper for the shop. That's how you close an episode.
Okay. All right, it's a deal. I'll meet you right over there and I'll write you up, okay?
Okay, it's yours if it drops and breaks something.
I understand.
I paid about $30 for this thing and I've sold it for $3,000. That's a pretty nice rate of return.